Have you ever just stared at a big, messy problem and had no idea where to even start? That feeling of being totally stuck? We've all been there. But what if I told you the real secret experts use has nothing to do with jumping to the answer? Stick with me because we're about to break down the first two steps that turn any complex challenge from complete confusion into crystal clarity.
So before we can get into solving problems, we kind of have to talk about the problem with problems themselves. And honestly, it's usually our own mindset that makes them feel so impossible in the first place.
I mean, you know that feeling, right? That sense of being completely overwhelmed, where the problem just seems so huge it paralyzes you. It's a totally human thing. But what if there was a systematic way to just break through that wall every single time?
Well, let's get back to basics for a second. What even is a problem? At its heart, it's not some dead end. It's just a situation, a question, or a challenge that needs a solution. The trick is to stop seeing it as a barrier and start seeing it for what it is, a puzzle, just waiting for you to solve it logically.
And this right here, this is the absolute key. The most important work you'll do happens before you even start thinking about the answer. We're all wired to rush ahead, to find that quick fix. But the real magic, the real genius is in the setup. Because when you nail the setup, the solution almost reveals itself.
Okay, so that brings us to the first and maybe most important step. You have to define it. This is all about understanding the what. I mean, what are you actually trying to solve? It sounds so basic, but this is where almost everyone messes up.
And here's the cool part. Defining any problem really just boils down to answering three simple questions. Number one, what is the problem actually asking me to do? Two, what information do I already have? What's given? And three, what does the final answer need to look like? What's required? That's it. This little framework is incredibly powerful.
Let's make this real. Imagine you're planning a class trip. Okay, using our framework, what is it asking? To arrange transportation. Simple. What's given? We have 45 students. What's required? We need to know the number and type of vehicles. See that? Instantly we have clarity. We haven't solved the thing yet, but we know exactly what the goal is.
All right, so we've defined our problem. We get the what. But is that really enough to start coming up with a solution? Well, not quite. And this is a super important pivot point because it leads us directly to our second step.
And that next step is to analyze it. Now, if defining was all about understanding the what, then analyzing is all about planning the how. Think of it as the bridge that gets you from understanding the problem to actually being able to solve it.
Analysis is where you dig a level deeper. This is where you start identifying the specific pieces of information, the inputs, and the logic you need to connect them all. You're not just looking at the problem anymore. You're actively hunting for the ingredients you need for your solution.
And you guessed it, analysis has its own little checklist. What are the specific inputs you need to work with? How many of them do you have? And, this is the big one, what's the formula or the logic that ties all those inputs together to get you to the answer?
All right, get ready for the aha moment. We're going to put these two ideas, define and analyze, side by side. Because once you see how they're different, but how they work together so perfectly, this whole thing is going to click into place.
So here it is, the simplest way to remember it. Defining is all about understanding the what. What is the problem telling me? But analyzing is about planning the how. What do I actually need to find the solution? It's like the difference between reading a map and actually plotting your route on it.
So let's jump back to our class trip for a second. Remember the definition phase? We need to arrange transport for 45 students, and the required output is the number and type of vehicles. It's a clear, high-level picture of the goal.
But now, look what happens when we shift to analysis. This turns our definition into a real plan. We identify the specific inputs, total students, which is 45, and we realize we need another piece of info, vehicle capacity. Let's say it's 15. Then we find our formula. Divide the total students by the capacity. The logic is simple. 45 divided by 15 equals 3 vans. And just like that, we went from what to how.
And you know, this process works for everything, not just planning trips. Let's really lock this in with a quick numerical problem, so you can see just how powerful the analysis phase is.
Okay, say we need to find the average of 5 test scores. In our analysis step, we first lay out our inputs. There they are, the 5 scores. Then, we count them up. We have 5 of them. Next, we figure out the formula we need. The average is the sum of the scores divided by the number of scores. So the logic follows. First, we add them all up, which gives us 420. Now all our pieces are in place.
And with that beautifully clear analysis done, the final step is just simple math. 420 divided by 5 gives us our answer, 84.
The solution was basically inevitable because we did the setup right.
So, what you've just learned isn't just some abstract idea. It's a real, practical toolkit. And the best part is, you can start using it today on any problem that comes your way, no matter how big or small. So here it is, your new two-step toolkit. Step 1, define the what. Ask yourself, what's it asking, what's given, and what's required. And then step 2, analyze the how. Figure out your specific inputs and the formula or logic you need to connect them.
And seriously, just remember this. If you can master this setup, that initial definition and analysis, you're not just getting started on the problem. In a lot of cases, you're already halfway to the solution before you've even picked up a calculator.
So I'll leave you with this thought. Think about a challenge you're dealing with right now. Forget about the answer for a minute. Just try applying these first 2 steps. What problem will you define first?